Aquí ya estamos en vivo y vamos a just as we wait for people to filter in here.
Yeah.
Sebastian, welcome to Spike 17 TV, brother. Pleasure to have you here. Um, Wanted to introduce you to Oscar here virtually for the first time. Oscar, this is Sebastian Saucedo. They call him, well, we called him Bofo back in the day. Do they still call you Bofo, Sebas?
Not anymore. Only people in Utah do, but
That's just me, huh?
not not in Mexico, bro. I
Yeah.
kind of like stamped it in Mexico where I didn't want to be called that, because of the whole Bofo actually professional soccer player. I'm in the Mexican league as well. I don't want to be known as Bofo like that dude, you know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
I'm my own thing. So yeah, I kind of stamped it where I didn't like I even told media dudes when I got to Pumas, I was like, hey, like I don't want to be called Bofo, and it's been Seba, Sauce, so it's been good. I've been getting away from it except when I go back home.
Okay. So what should we call you? Should we call you Sebas?
Sebas is cool. Yeah, Sebas. You guys
Yes.
can call me Bofo. Close friends can always call me Bofo.
Yeah. So
You know,
the fun fact here for the people filtering in, we've got about 40 people that are filtering
and
in right now.
it's
Uh,
good to see Oscar. Oscar, I've been connecting with your brother for a little bit. And it's good to see you grow. It's good to see you do what you're doing. It's really cool, man. I growing up, I didn't have the things you have now, where the exposure of videos, exposure of like close contact of like what you do day to day and people that follow you every day. So it's really good to see that stuff, and obviously that goes a long way. I think that hard work pays off, and you'll be able to be showing the work you do and the work you put in. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of fun over here, training, playing games, all that stuff. Kind of busy too, but still fun. I enjoy it. You gotta enjoy what you love doing.
Yeah, exactly. What really matters. It's enjoying the process, knowing that if you fell once, there's always going to be another door. You know what I mean? So even the days you feel like it's impossible, or the days where you feel like it hasn't been that day for you, just know that it's part of the process. But the beautiful thing about everything is that you get to enjoy what you do every single day, compared to a lot of kids out in the world that have differences from us. So um, that will always be my advice for the little kids, for the little young ones, is most important is to enjoy what you do, love what you do. There's a difference when you get to the professional environment, is you enjoy, but it's also business at the professional environment. But now as a kid, I wish I can go back as a kid and enjoy it one more time.
Yeah, that's why we should enjoy it now, because then we won't have another opportunity to enjoy it again as a kid.
Exactly. Exactly.
I grew up. So I grew up with Sebas. We like would I would see Sebas all over the place in Mexican league. Not so much in club. I think I joined club like later, like around 13, 14 years old. But I remember seeing Sebas all over the place, and Sebas was like the kid that everyone talked about. It was like, oh, there's Bofo. So there's Bofo el de las Chivitas. And and now I feel like Oscar's kind of among with a few other kids here in Utah. There's a lot of ballers here in Utah. It's just like I see Oscar and I see Sebas. It's like, he's that little kid that everyone kind of talked about. And like you said, there wasn't video back in the day, to kind of promote yourself. So just the fact that there wasn't that, and you still made a name for yourself, that young, it just speaks high volumes, right? Of just the player that you've been since you were a kid, Sebas. And I think that's really important to point out. So we kind of wanted to ask you a few questions here. Oscar has a few questions for you to kind of just if you can answer them. He's got to leave here to practice in a bit. so we
Okay.
can sit down and just keep chatting a little more after. But yeah, Oscar, what questions do you have for Sebas here about his day in the life? So and again, just to give context, Sebastian Saucedo grew up here in Utah, same place where we're at right now, where Oscar and I are. Sebastian grew up in Utah. He played for La Roca, and then played for Real Salt Lake Academy, and then made it onto Real Salt Lake D1, and now he's playing D1 Mexican football with FC Juarez. Oscar, what questions did you write down here for Sebas?
The first one was, what was your favorite goal in your career?
My favorite goal would probably have to be, so if I remember, I was injured for the first leg against New England Revolution, and I think we lost 3-0 the first leg in Boston with Pumas in the CONCACAF Champions League. And then we still need to play the second leg, right, at home in Ciudad Universitaria in Pumas, and we were 2-2 or 2-0, right? It was 3-2 aggregate, minute 69, 70th. I get a ball, the defender tried to header it out. I trapped it with my soul, and just like, those shots that I always put out, with the inside of my foot, I hit it as hard as I can, the goalie didn't see it and it just went over him. And with my goal, we tied to be able to go to extra time to beat them in PKs to make it to the next round of the CONCACAF Champions League. I think that was a special goal. I think that every goal is special when you get to a new club. Like when I got to Pumas, that first goal was special. Opening up the season, the first game of the season, I think that's always special to me and to the club. And then with Toluca, scoring in Toluca, that's special. The stadium with their fans, that was special. And then with Juarez now, I haven't been able to score. I haven't been able to play, so it's been a little bit difficult. But yeah, I think that I would take away the Champions League one, which was amazing.
And what team was that with, Sebas?
Pumas, the one I scored against
scored?
New England Revolution. Yep.
I feel like a lot of your goals have been really similar, bro. Like it's always the same banger. I mean, that video that we made for you, it was like the same banger, Real Salt Lake, same banger with Puma, same banger with Toluca, and same banger with Juarez. It's like, yeah, you must have practiced that shot like crazy.
Yeah, I think that it's just like one of those specialties that I have that, they know that I'm always gonna cut right. But then also I've had the chance to score like 2 or 3 times with my left where I cut with my left. But that's how do you prepare to make it happen? You know what I mean? With the situation of hitting it with my right. So what I do is, the first 3-4 times, I start going left, crossing with my left, start going left. And when I see when there's a little gap, people tell me, well, it's because you score the same goal all the time. You know what I mean? But I always work at it. You know what I mean? I always go to my left, make them think that I'm going to my left, like 3-4 times. And then when the gap opens, boom, I cut. You know what I mean? And when I cut, that's when I take advantage with that little gap between of them giving me a little bit of chance, So that's the difference too.
I love that. Yeah, we Oscar and I have been practicing the like kind of reading the hips a lot, just determining whether you should cut inside right or cut outside right. So,
yeah, exactly.
That's it really pays off when you figure it out, as it's paid off for you, right?
That's true. Yeah, it has. I think it's been a lot of practice. A lot of people say, well, it's the same goal, but I practice it a lot. I go home in Utah when I go training. It's part of my practice. You know what I mean? I always train what I do, and just to cap it off, you train or you play the way you train and the way you do things. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if the repetitions, you do a lot of repetitions, but if you do them correctly and if you practice them correctly, it all gets to a point where in the game it gets easier and easier because you're used to that playing in the game. You know what I mean? That rhythm of the game. It's one thing is the rhythm of training. Another thing is rhythm of the game and being, so it's just that those little details I think that go a long way.
I love it. Oscar, what other question do you have for Sebas here? What was your second question? You're muted right now. Let me unmute you real quick.
He's unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your most favorite game that you have played in any team?
In any team. Um, you know, it has to be quarterfinals with Pumas against America in the Azteca, 90, 95, 100,000 people. You know, I started that game, I started the first leg too in quarterfinals. So it was 0-0 in our stadium, right? And since America had a higher seed, we they closed at their home, right? So they did the most difficult part, which was um, tying us at home, and so then we'd have to go to America Stadium to try and win the game, and we won 3-1. That was a really crazy game, crazy experience, you know. And then I would say also probably all the finals that I've gotten to in the League IMX too has been a crazy experience because that's been a dream of mine growing up. You know what I mean? As a Mexican American kid, getting to the Liga Mexicana finals, that's crazy for me. You know what I mean? I never thought that I would have been able to get to the finals or a CONCACAF final, or play for a big club like Pumas or play for a big club like Toluca, right? So, um, just those little things that are crazy to me.
Yeah.
Tell me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Oscar. Yeah, go ahead. It's in the car right now, so you might lose a little signal.
No worries.
Yeah, go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, it's always awesome. Playing like quarterfinals and all that stuff. It gets really competitive at the time when it gets like the tournament gets harder and harder. The games get harder and harder, more competitive. So gotta get it with all we've got.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, before we move on to the next question here, I put in the chat. Everyone, make sure you guys go follow Sebastian Saucedo's new YouTube channel. It's called Sebastian Saucedo Films, and I just put the link in the chat. Okay, so we just that's awesome. Okay, so we got 14 subscribers. We went from 14 to 21 subscribers right now. We're hoping to kind of connect the chat, the audience with a current professional footballer, right? So again, Sebastian Saucedo, he's a pro footballer. He's been doing this for years now, and I think it's really an honor right now to have Sebastian Saucedo in this live with us right now because we're having front row seats to the experience of what it is um, to be a professional footballer, right?
Not just I would just also add to that where all the little ballers, especially from Utah, that dreams do come true. You know what I mean? So um I'm 27 now. I would say about more than a couple years back, I was in your guys' shoes, playing I would say not at the new state cup fields that you guys play at now, where but I would say that I played State Cup, I played La Roca Cup, I played Sparta Cup, I played all these tournaments that you guys played in. So dreams do come true, and that's my message to you guys is that that all you young ballers do just know that sky's the limit for you guys, and keep working hard for your dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna see if we can play the video that we made for you here on this live.
Mhm.
Give me one moment here. But again, so go follow Sebastian Saucedo on YouTube. It's Sebastian Saucedo Films. The link is in the chat. It's pinned for some more content here. Let me see if I can make this work here. If not, it's fine. But let's see if we can get the the video in here real quick. Let's see my layout. Okay, Oscar, ask Sebastian the next question while we're trying to figure this out here.
What's the most difficult thing about being a pro footballer?
Look, I think that this is a really good question because everyone, especially the young bucks, they see um the fame, the Instagram, they see the shoes. Oh, hey, he's got the new Travis Scotts, he's got those new Nikes, you know what I mean? He's got this and that. I want those, I want all those things. But behind all those things, the adversities that come with being a professional soccer player, that's probably like the hardest thing where it comes down to even waking up at 6 in the morning for preseason on an empty stomach, and having 3 to 4 sessions a day for preseason, or whether it comes to some things that aren't fair, that you're doing better than another player, but this player is worth more money than you are, so the other player has to play, right? So I think that there's a lot of things that come down to this where that's the hardest thing, and being able to maintain yourself at a big environment like a professional athlete. My dad used to always tell me anyone can make it, anyone can become a professional soccer player, but how do you maintain yourself a professional soccer player for a long time? So I always stay by that saying of my dad where um maintain yourself in first division, maintain yourself in first division, because these opportunities, all these little things don't come easy. I mean, yeah, they could say that I'm in a team like Juarez that maybe it's not a big club like Pumas or Toluca, but regardless of the team I'm in, it's still first division. You know what I mean? We still compete against America. We still compete against Toluca. We still compete against Pumas. You know what I mean? So is how do I maintain myself to still be at a first division club?
I really love how you said it's really easy to make it pro. I mean, really easy, right? To make it a pro, but the hard part is to maintain yourself out there. That's so true. I feel like we hear about all these up and coming young superstars, right? And then once they get to that level, that next level, kind of reality hits them, and it's like, oh, this is a lot harder, than players make it seem. Than Messi and Ronaldo make it look, and on TV, they have to actually put in the work. They have to actually get up early. They have to put in that extra work, that overtime, and it's a lot easier said than done, right?
I've had friends, and they always ask me the same thing, USL players, even now MLS players, and they always tell me like, hey, like, you know, I always see you, and I always see you getting into a new club, or I always see you going into a new first division soccer team in Mexico, right? Why don't you come back to the MLS, right? Why aren't you back here? Yet, this is part of soccer. This is sacrifice. Me being in Mexico, I could easily go and take a pay cut and come back to the MLS and be that player. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this is the type of sacrifice I like. I want to make my name keep growing my status of a professional soccer player where no one gifted me getting to one of the biggest soccer clubs in the history of Mexico, like Pumas, right? Like
Yeah.
Toluca, where they have 10 titles in the league, right? They're, I think, third or fourth on having the most titles in the league, right? Um, and then maybe coming into another team in Juarez where they paid a big amount of money for me to come here. You know what I mean? So I look at that as challenges. I don't really look at that as like a downfall, or I don't look at it as like, oh, a change. I look at it as an opportunity, a challenge of keep growing. You know what I mean? So um I think that the exposure I get is different. I think the environment is way different than the MLS. That's for sure because I lived it both sides. Um, but it's challenging. I love these challenges. So I enjoy everything I do, and so um, yeah, I love it. I think that it's different. That's for sure.
Love it. Oscar, do you have to go, or where are you at right now? You're
Yeah,
still good.
at the place.
Huh?
I'm here at the place where I'm about to help out. So
How much time do you have? Do you have to go right now, or
I don't know. Let me ask real quick.
okay? Yeah, bro, this is some good stuff. Let's get some shout outs here to the chat real quick while we're waiting on Oscar to see if he has to head out or not. Shout out to Luis Plays, Diana Mudo, Billy. Appreciate the generous donation, brother. Cristiano Ronaldo's my GOAT. Hey, Sebas, who's your GOAT, bro? Do you have a GOAT or no?
Of
Or like
of players,
Messi or Ronaldo for you?
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho. None of those two. It's Ronaldinho.
Dude, Ronaldinho, what he did with the ball, that was another level for me. Growing up, seeing Ronaldinho do what he did
Yeah.
was different. You
Right.
know, um, I like prime Neymar at Barcelona. He was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really do like, I like Ronaldo's work ethic, the way he carries himself to be a different player, to be more than what he was yesterday. I think Messi is the same way, just Messi doesn't show it. I think Messi's more of a humble human being. I think he does work just as hard as Ronaldo. He just doesn't show it on social media.
Right.
So they're both, for me, they're both the goats. I don't pick one. I both admire both of them just because of how many years they've maintained themselves at the highest level of soccer.
Right.
Right. So it'd be, I think, dumb on my part of just pick one. I think I respect both of them enough,
I love that.
or equally, I would say.
Yeah. Oscar, what do you think? How's your time?
Yeah, I gotta head out.
You
Okay.
can get one more question before he goes.
Yeah. One more question, bro.
Yeah. Well, how fast paced are your games?
Yeah, they're definitely another level of speed compared to obviously the USL or MLS. That's for sure. It just the Mexican league is super tactical, super smart players. Um, but again, I think that the day you get here in the gate, the day you become a professional soccer player, you'll be able to experience and practice with players just as good, or players that you're better than, or players that are better than you, and you'll be able to learn and continue to grow in your pace, and work that pace of a professional environment. And I think that it's like, I think every player that even goes to Europe from MLS, Mexican league, whatever, they're always going to adapt to that league within the first few months. Maybe it'd be different speed in Europe or whatnot, but just like college to MLS, maybe it's a different speed. You'll adapt, and just from there. So I'm just super excited to see you grow, Oscar. Before you head out, sky's the limit. I'm super excited to see you when I come to Utah, to see what you've built, and maybe to catch one of your games. And yeah, any questions you have, anything you need, your brother has my phone number. You guys are welcome to whatever you guys need in my part. So just feel free to answer or to ask me any questions when you feel down, especially. I think that that's part of the process. Enjoy it and love what you do.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome, Oscar. You have a good one. It was good to meet you.
Good evening. See you too.
See you,
Yeah.
Oscar.
Go hard at practice. Almost.
Vamos.
Yeah, bro. You could tell he was a little shy right now talking to a professional footballer. He's usually a lot more, what do you call it? Um, yeah,
That's normal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's normal. That's for sure.
Love it, bro. So how's so are you so you play with FC Juarez right now?
Yeah.
And you live in you're 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 traveling right from Texas to FC Juarez. Um, I mean, we haven't seen you much recently. I know you've been injured as much. What can you is there like an update that you can share with us? There's a lot that goes on during injuries, right? What
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you share with us about your experience so far with that, bro? Because I know it. Like, I mean, I tore my ACL. That freaking sucked. Um, Put me out for a while. How's it been for you?
I've gotten to a point where I last season I got hurt, right?
Yeah,
And I told myself, going into preseason, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna be able to come back stronger. The injury was my Achilles tendon, where it's literally the heel, right? Where I walk, it was hurting to walk back and forth.
yeah,
And out of the blue, they just tell me that I am not a part of their plans, that they're gonna leave me here for preseason. The team's actually training in Puerto Vallarta. They're headed to Querétaro now, and me and four other players are separated from the team, right? So, I don't know what happens. This is the first time that happens to me, at the professional environment. This has never happened to me. So I'm like super confused with all this, um but yeah, I guess it's part of soccer, I don't know. I mean, or at least this club. But yeah, I've been enjoying, day to day, working hard, being able to, um if it's that I'm gonna leave here soon in July, I'm waiting for the MLS transfer window to open, so I'm hoping to head out of here. That's for sure. So just that
really.
I think that I've been hurt, but it hasn't been hurt where to be out, or to be separated from a club. You know what I mean? So tough.
So if I understood you right, then you said you're planning to you're planning to head out
Yeah,
to
hundred
past
percent.
MLS?
Yeah, I want to go back to the MLS. I think it's time. Um, I think it's time to enjoy, the soccer that I grew up in. So I'm excited, man. I think that I will be able to do good things in the MLS if I do come back, just because all my special moments, all these special things that came out of me happened in the MLS. And with that being said, if it wasn't in Toluca or Pumas, all the rest of the stuff that came out that was special was in the MLS. So even when I played Leagues Cup with Juarez against Austin, or in Juarez against LAFC, or Juarez against Mazatlan in the Leagues Cup, little special things came out of the games.
Yeah. So you coming back to RSL then, or what?
The dream of mine, man. That's definitely a dream of mine, come back home.
The
They're doing well. I respect.
Idol says come back to RSL. We got the fan base.
I wish, I think that I'll come back at its time. They're doing really well. I'm super happy to see RSL to be where they belong. This whole new ownership came back and has put in numbers for the team and has been able to change the philosophy of the club. Jason Christ coming back as a director has helped tremendously. Just important people that have been there in the past are back finally. Tony Belchin as being the assistant general manager is kind of amazing. Seeing important people that really care about the club is finally taking over. So I'm excited to see the future of RSL. They've got special players, a lot of, well, a few friends of mine. So I'm excited. I think that maybe in the future I will come back. That's for sure, and I will retire at RSL.
Yeah. Oh well, there you go. Let's knock on wood. You heard it here first. Sebastian Saucedo retiring at RSL. That's going to be quite a comeback, quite a return. Be happy to have you here, man. Shout out to Nerf. Cristiano Ronaldo is my goal. Ilda Casares that are still here supporting, commenting in the chat. Yeah, man, like I said, we've got plenty of people here that want you back at RSL. Is there what can you tell us about the options that you have for MLS? Or is that I mean, if it's secret, no worries. But I mean, what teams
No,
and chatting with or
yeah. So with the MLS, it's nothing official now, just because the transfer window doesn't open till the 1st of July, right? So it's kind of up in the air. Um, but yeah, I mean, technically, um, just waiting for that opportunity to be able to have a club that's anywhere in the MLS that are willing to take my services. I think that I'm gonna give a whole different aspect of Sebastian Saucedo coming back to the MLS, right? So before it was like a young chicken without a head at RSL, kind of like, you know, not thinking so much, just being crazy, not taking the game as serious, right? So now it's like a very, centered Saucedo where he's gonna come back and give it his all, where it's like do or die, right? So I'm super excited.
yeah, well, that wherever it is you go, bro, it'll be exciting to have you back here in the MLS. It's been popping lately here, and yeah, it'll be nice to have you close here, especially as the World Cup approaches. Club World Cup and stuff, and see what happens after that. So we have some few people in the chat here asking how many goals have you scored? I'm assuming probably in your professional career or with
Oh,
what is there?
I would say like 30 something total, or like 20 something, like around there, from 20 to 30. All goals in general with national team, with Pumas, Toluca, Juarez.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
significant number, but obviously, it's sometimes I don't even look at stats like I wish I could, because of that player I am. I wish I can, but it doesn't even come down to that anymore. Like for me, it's more of like, how do I maintain myself in that professional environment to keep growing, to keep getting better, to keep putting my part, if it's bench or being a starter, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do I become that professional that's different and that's willing to succeed for the club, right? So I think that goes a long way compared to a lot of stats or for players that play just to make stats. Sometimes you try to make stats and they're the first players that just leave, you know what I mean? So it's
hmm
kind of hard, but yeah, it's good. I think that it's a good opportunity, to be different, score goals, and enjoy what you do. And so I'm excited for what the future is to come.
yeah. You're like you touched on like you're not one to really count how many goals you're scoring, but more of like just enjoying the process and developing, right?
Yeah,
We
exactly.
talked recently about just and I kind of always touch on this topic a lot on my YouTube channel. It's like so many players focus so much on winning and losing. It's like, oh, if I gotta win, right? Or I gotta be on a winning team, or if I lose, I'm a bad player. No, it's like or if I don't score, a goal this game, I'm not a good player. It's like, no, you just focus on your personal development, right? Whether
Yeah,
you want to lose, you can lose a game and still play well, right? It's
yeah,
not
exactly.
about the result of the game. It's how you feel like you did individually as a player.
Yeah, I think that that's a good touch there, where you talk about the differences of winning. I think that there's a difference between wanting to win every single game and hating to lose, right? I think that I hate to lose. I want to win every game. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, when you do lose, those are little things that you look at and you're like, oh well, what did I do wrong? Or what went wrong? Why did we lose? Or you ask yourself little things like where you want to keep growing. It's true that I want to win every game, but to take these losses, to be able to help yourself, maintain yourself, keep your cool, but also understand that these losses make you stronger. You know what I mean? And these little losses are what makes you a different player to be able to not make the same mistakes, after this. So, um, I will be honest with you. I hate losing. Even if it's in training, with these little side games, I hate losing. I think that's a mentality that we all have to have. But regardless of the situation, is when you do lose, even if it's in training, how can you keep your cool to be able to understand your mistakes, right? So that will
Right.
make you go a long way rather than retaliating in the moment on losing and getting mad. So
Right. What would be the biggest advice here? How much time do you have, Sebas?
no, I have a time, bro. I don't. I'm good.
Okay, we can go for like another 10 minutes here.
That's fine.
Answer. So, I'm again, chat. Follow Sebastian Saucedo Films, the new YouTube channel. He's going to be posting a lot of content here coming up. A lot of exciting things coming up for Sebastian Saucedo. We're looking to collaborate more. As he continues to as his career continues to develop, progress. Especially as he comes back to the MLS, man, it's going to be an even more exciting time. And let's go follow his YouTube channel, Sebastian Saucedo Films. And let's keep the party going here. We have about 10 minutes here left in this live, so as we keep chatting here, chat will ask you guys to ask any other questions, any questions that you guys might have about football, about development, about youth football, about tips, from a professional footballer. Let us know. What are you curious to hear about here as we start to wrap up, and yeah, we'll answer the best questions here that as they continue to come up. But yeah, Sebas, why do you think? Here's a question for you. Why do you think you went professional footballer? Why do you think you became a professional footballer? What is it that it took for you? What did it take for you? There's so many players here in Utah that have that same dream, right? There's only a few that have been able to make it happen. And the ones that have made it happen, kind of have fallen through the cracks. They make it to RSL for a bit. They drop back to Monarchs, or for like a season, and then they drop off. Right? Why have you been able to get to where you are now as a Utah youth footballer, as a former Utah youth footballer?
Dang, bro, that's touching. That's really touching in a sense. Um, to be able to remember all the tough moments that I went through growing up, right? Um, it wasn't not necessarily tough in the sense that I didn't have anyone to be able to support me, right? I think that all of this that I have now, I owe it to my father because he would lose jobs to be able to take me from Park City, Utah, all the way to Northern Salt Lake, which was about an hour and 20-minute drive, right? He would lose jobs because of that. Why? Because maybe at some job he had to leave early to take me to training, or to take me to a soccer tournament, or to take me to a soccer game, right? But I think that aside of those little things, they go a long way with your determination of you wanting to keep growing, right? I think that it's really, really easy to lose track and go and make different choices because maybe other kids are doing other things, right? And maybe high school kids are going to high school parties, or maybe high school kids are drinking alcohol, right? Or maybe blah blah blah. I don't know, little things, or I want to try a different sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be driven. You have to determine yourself in what you really want, and that support that I had from my dad, where he was always on check, on point with what I needed to do, was always there. You know, I won't lie to you. I did retaliate at times where I didn't want to go train. I didn't want to do things, but it did take a part of my dad where he was just like, all right, well, this is this, this is that, this is how it's gonna be, and you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? And it sounds kind of like harsh, right? But you want to become a professional soccer player, this is what it's gonna take, right?
Yeah.
And it's discipline. Because at the end of the day, when you're in eighth, ninth grade, you're a little young man, right? You start making decisions after that. You start making decisions. And it got to a point when I was in eighth grade, they're all like, all right, well, um, you're gonna go to the Real Salt Lake Academy. You're gonna live on your own, right? You're gonna live away from your family. And so when it got to the point where I had to talk to my mom and dad about it, my mom was iffy. She was like, okay, well, what's gonna happen to high school? What's gonna happen to all of this, right? My dad was like, no, if you want to become a professional soccer player and you want to be a young little athlete, and if you want to grow to be a little young boy on your own, you're gonna have to live away from home, and you're gonna have to live away from your friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then this whole situation of you know, me going to Arizona alone, you know, it just kind of made me made like there was, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was moments in Casa Grande, Arizona, where I would cry in my dorm. You know what I mean? I would really, really cry, just wanting to come home. I'd call my parents, I'd be like, okay, I want to come home. But then also that first year, it's like Saucedo scored 60 goals in 50 games, right? His first year, he becomes a national championship player, right? His first year, he becomes the best player of the league back to back, 2 years in a row, right? After the second year, I get signed by RSL at 17, right? So it's like, dang, like things happen fast. And those little moments of sacrifice are very, very minimum, right? But we feel like they're impossible to get over with because at the moment you're like, oh, shoot, like I want to come home. They don't last long, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like they last like a long time because you want to go out and be with your friends and party with your friends or do other things with your friends, right? But in the moment, they feel impossible when you get over that little, you know, that little mountain of like harsh things of crying or all these things. You'll be able to just know that the this whole sacrifice will pay off, right? Doing laundry on your own, that's another thing, you know, serving your plate on your own, you know what I mean? Washing your plate on your own, you know. I won't go too far. Doing laundry on your own really makes habits different, you know what I mean? Who here in this chat does their own laundry? I guarantee you none of them do, right? So it's like it's
Think
just little
so.
things like, you know, that you just kind of like make you different, that you're at 14 years old, you're folding your laundry, you're making your own food, you're living on your own, you're preparing your own clothes, you're going to school. That's different. That's different.
Yeah. You learn to become self-reliant at a very young age.
Exactly. And the way I grew up, you know, in Park City, who would have known a little athlete from Park City that would have came out of a place that has Olympic gold medalists, you know, and you've got all of a sudden a soccer player. You know what I mean?
Right.
I went to the U-23 national team Olympic qualifying team. We didn't qualify for Japan, but imagine how crazy it would have been. I would have been on that roster. Imagine Sebastian Saucedo, the first Olympic soccer player to play in an Olympics.
Right.
I went to the qualifying for the Olympics, so that's even crazy. But imagine if I would have gone to Tokyo.
That would
It's
have been
crazy,
crazy.
man. You know what I mean? Like it's just things that sometimes I don't believe. I have almost 150 plus games in first division, you know, soccer in general. It doesn't come easy and it's not easy, that's for sure. It has taken a lot of time and hard work.
Right.
So it's hard, bro.
So you had a lot of support from your dad, right? You
Yeah.
had it took a lot of discipline. It took a lot of consistency, right? Um, how young? There's a common debate. I don't know. I feel like I've just been starting to pay attention to it more recently. A common debate of like, oh, it doesn't matter. He's 12 years old. He doesn't matter. it doesn't matter right now if he plays at a high level, or it doesn't matter right now that he's scoring goals. Like, how important would you say, and how early would you like? Okay, so how important is it first? How important is it to play at the highest level at a young age, say 8, 9, 10 years old, 11, or is there an age, right, that you should start taking it seriously, or what is it that really matters?
I'm gonna be honest with you. 11, 12, 13 years old, I was like literally still playing in Park City, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was doing in Park City, I was ripping nets. I was scoring goals. I was just having so much fun. I was playing to enjoy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
1 year at La Roca, because I only played 1 year, right? 1 year from 13 to 14. That's when everything changed, right? Because at 14 years old, almost turned, or my 14th year old, like at the half of the 14-year-old, that's where I played my first generation Adidas Cup with Real Salt Lake Academy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where everything changed. But let me be transparent with you too. I also went to the national team. I also went to the U20 World Cup team to go to South Korea. And I went to the World Cup in South Korea with the U20 national team of the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
The U17 national team didn't call me up for one single camp. The U18 would call me here and there. Here and there. I wasn't consistent. U20 consistent, U23 consistent. Everything changes, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's just you have to be prepared for that opportunity. But right now, as a 10, 11, 12, I would say maybe max 13, start ripping nets, start scoring goals, enjoy everything you can, right? But I would see that turning point would be at 14, 15 years old. That's when you need to start playing at an actual official MLS academy. 100% MLS academy.
Not
Because again,
ECNL, E64. What do you think about those leagues for
I
this
think
for this age group? 12-year-old, 12, 11, 10.
I think it helps. You know what I mean? I do think it helped. I think that they all help. You know, you're
Yeah.
playing the game. They all help. I'm not gonna lie to you. They all help.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to you want to be a different level at 14 years old, there's a turning point, right? At 13 or at 14 to 15 years old, you should already be at our RSL Academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the turning point.
Yeah.
That's when you need to start ripping the nets in the academy, where you're learning new process of the academy, where you're learning new techniques, new positions, new speed of the game, right? That's when that's the turning point.
Yeah.
But when you're 11, 12, 13, you're still developing, you know what I mean? You're still learning new things, you're still doing blah blah, right? I mean, from 12 to 13 or 10 to 13, you're still shooting the ball as high as you can and the goalie still can't reach it. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you start getting into 14, 15 years old, that's when things change, right? So that's for me the biggest turning point. And don't get me wrong, all leagues help. But you know, you need to be at an actual official MLS academy club.
Yeah.
That's for sure 100% because the ultimate goal for any youth player is getting experience at an academy team, right? That way you have that aim to go to the first team to the MLS team, right? And then from there, if it doesn't work out, your aim is from there to go to an NCAA college team, right? Because the easiest way to go into the MLS is going college these days, right? And then I don't even think they look back at a USL2 team or a USL team, right? Because it's hard. There's a lot of players that go into these leagues as a professional athlete that are probably older, right? And that don't have that chance to go to the MLS teams. I think that MLS teams want young college players, right? So maybe they want young college players to be able to change their their future. They have enough time. They're not going to get a 27, 28-year-old player from a USL club, right? That's already an experienced player, right? So it's kind of those little things.
Yeah. I love that. So to kind of recap what you said, at the age group of 10, 13, right? Play, keep playing. Try to play wherever you're gonna get the most playing time. Enjoy the game. Kill it.
Score goals.
Score goals. Make
Do
a difference.
tricks.
Yeah, mess up. It doesn't matter. Prepare everything you're doing.
All that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Prepare for the turning point, which comes at around 14, 15. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it. All right, bro. This is fun. What last thoughts here do you want to share, Sebas? We'd love to have you back in this channel here. On a more consistent basis here. I'm sure as we start to do this a little more consistently, right? This will generate a interest from a larger audience. We'll make clips from this too. We'll turn these into reels and highlight the key parts of this. But what other thoughts would you like to share here with the youth community here that follows us on YouTube here? Anything valuable that you've learned from your professional career?
Before I get answering your question, I just want to thank you, bro, for the opportunity. I think that what you're doing for your brother is different, and I would give you that advice to keep being a role model to your brother, keep pushing your brother to be different, keep pushing your brother to stay humble, to stay and enjoy the process, and block all the noise. He's not as good as his next game. He's not as worse as his last game. Just keep growing, keep enjoying, keep have him always have that smile on his face where I'm sure you always love seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I would give you that advice. Be that father figure for him. Where if he does lose, you're there for him, but you always motivate him for the next one, right?
For sure.
It happens. It's gonna happen. The father figure of being there for him in the hard moments, but also in the best moments where you guys can enjoy different things that our families never enjoyed growing up, right? Now that you guys have all this platform of YouTube, platform of being able to do things differently, enjoy the process, enjoy everything you guys do, love what you guys do, and that's gonna take you guys a long way. That's for sure. So
for sure, thank you.
I appreciate you. And then I will obviously be following Oscar with you, and then there's going to be cool things coming up, and I'm sure between you and I. So I'm excited to maybe in the future share these things with everyone. As of now, we don't have anything concrete, so we're not going to be able to share anything. But
right.
But anyways, with that being said, with a professional athlete it's harder than what people think. You know what I mean? I think that that it's just so difficult to maintain yourself to be able to an athlete or a professional player for a long time. I think that it goes a long way of just waking up, going to training. It's waking up, how do you prepare yourself for the next day of training? What type of recovery are you doing for the next day of training? What type of gym workouts are you doing for your body to be able to be ready for a training session? What upper body workouts am I going to do for my body to be able to transform to be able to be a professional soccer player? What workouts am I going to do to be able to be faster, different, little things that make the difference of a professional soccer player. So it comes a long way with what I do, really. So my advice is, as a young little player, young little baller, enjoy the process, enjoy what you love doing the most, rip the nets, score goals, and obviously for those defenders, slide tackle, enjoy enjoy everything,
Brexit.
just yeah, exactly, be different, So I'm excited to be able to see you guys grow and be different, but I think that your chat is asking for they're asking for a Spike 17 jersey. So I mean, I think you're gonna have to create a Spike 17 jersey, or I'll just have to give you one of mine. So
oh, we got one. No, Nerf won his already. It's on its way. Nerf, so it's coming. But yeah.
Oh, they won the 50K.
They won the 50K.
Nice.
we'll have
That's
to
dope.
we might have to do one for you too once you get to 1K, Sebas. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm excited. I think we'll have really cool giveaways, man. You know that I have a lot of um I have a lot of connections with a lot of top soccer players around the world. So we could even do giveaway from for example, I know Maxi Araujo, he's playing with Uruguay right now, and maybe we can even get like a cool jersey from Fede Valverde from Real Madrid, you know, or a signed jersey from him and gift that out, you know, something crazy like that, or a Uruguayan national team signed jersey by everyone. I don't know, little things
That'd
like
be
that. But
insane. That'd be
it'd be cool.
insane.
It'd be cool. It'd be
Yeah,
dope. That's for sure.
absolutely. No, let's do it, dude. I'm sure everyone would love it here. Yeah, we're all about giving back here. We're excited for everything that we've been able to accomplish, and a lot, and all of this is thanks to you guys, right? To your guys' support. So thank you, PSG, for the generous donation here. Um, and
Oh, and the other one is thank you obviously for the whole you know, having my page pinned and helping me grow with this whole YouTube. And obviously the collaborations that we're probably going to do in the future. Just excited to see all this grow. Yeah, man, I think that sky's the limit for Oscar soccer wise, and then us on the YouTube channel side. I think that there's going to be cool things to come.
absolutely. One more time, follow Sebastian Saucedo Films on YouTube. He just we just got his YouTube channel created here, and we'll be doing he'll be doing some giveaways on that YouTube channel too. You know, as it starts growing, as it starts progressing, developing. So let's make sure that we're tuned. Turn on the notifications bell because we're about to take off here with this collaboration. So thank you so much again, Sebas, for joining us here, for the opportunity. Best of luck with your career. We're excited to hear, you know, where the next move is. Hopefully, it's hopefully RSL is not too far away, bro. Just don't come here once you're like 40, bro.
Right.
Come over sooner than later.
I'll be soon, bro. That's for sure. And
It,
maybe in a month. Nah,
is
I'm
that?
just kidding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Is that your? Is that your? I guess just the last question. Is your goal to keep playing for a good while? Like, I mean, probably a dumb question at the same time, but like, are you planning on just playing till you,
Look,
till you can, or what? What are your thoughts?
it all depends, man. You help me grow this channel, and I'll retire.
Simple as that.
No, I don't think I think that I know I'm more of a professional person, right? I know that maybe um I'll probably know when to step aside, right? And just not be in the way. I think I've always find teammates, man, they're like 35, 36, 33. They're like, bro, they're doing all they can to keep going, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think I'll know when to stop and when it's the right time, and when I feel like I can't do it anymore like the way I do in general, I'll probably stop, right? But
yeah,
I I'm doing all my courses for coaching. I have my I'm getting my diploma and like a certification for the soccer business side of like the technical director, right? So I'm preparing myself for other things, you know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I don't even want to do anything with soccer, right? I don't know yet.
yeah.
But you know, where I'm excited. If you help me grow this channel, probably something that has nothing to do with soccer,
Sure.
right? So I don't know yet. We don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. There's a lot of good things that we can do for soccer or without soccer. But you know, I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Only the beginning. This is day one here, first collaboration live, and it's going to be great. It's going to be very valuable on both ends, you know, and to the audience, and super excited. So, Sebas, thank you so much for sticking around here. How long were we in here for? Were we
An
like
hour.
an hour? That's crazy. Yeah, flew by
Goes
really
by
fast.
quick, bro.
Yeah, that was really quick. Yeah, Sebastian Saucedo Films on YouTube. Big collaborations coming up here. Stay tuned for Sebastian Saucedo's announcement on where his football career is going to take him next. MLS, get ready because Sebastian Saucedo is returning, and it's going to be huge. Thank you so much, Sebas, and we'll keep in touch. All right.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to your boys in the chat, everyone that stick by us for an hour. Much love. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I should be texting you here in a bit.
Dale pues, ahí estamos.
See you guys.
Yeah.